Hello everyone, and today I wanted to come on here and talk about a bit of football or soccer, whatever you want to refer to it as. So last night, Arsenal beat Chelsea 3-1, and honestly, Chelsea seems like a bunch of players that have, that have just turned up and decided to play together. Because there's no style of play, there's no increase, and they just no energy about them. It feels like they don't, half of them don't want to be there. And maybe that is the case, I don't know, obviously. But watching them, I do get that vibe. And obviously Lampard is just Lampard. Great, great player. Terrible, terrible manager from what we've seen so far at Derby and at Everton and now at Chelsea. Obviously, his first run was decent. When I mean his first run, I obviously mean his first run at Chelsea. He was decent, but he didn't really do anything, did he? I mean, he kept them in the top four when they had a transfer ban, didn't he? But, that, but that's all he's really done in management. But you have to, but, I don't, but I'm not gonna lie. At the time, people were saying he's a pretty decent manager for keeping them in top four with a transfer ban. But but since then, it's been terrible. When he was like, let's be honest, when he was at Derby, he didn't really do very much. And with their squad that they had at the time, I believe they should have been getting promoted. And obviously, when he was at Everton, he kept them up by the skin of his teeth. But even I believe he was the one that put him down there in the first place. So yeah, I just think he needs to go back to the he needs to go back to the drawing board as a manager. Like, can you honestly tell me what what Frank Lampard style of plays as a manager? Like, what is his preferred formation as a manager? Does anybody know? If I think Frank Lampard would be better off dropping down to like League One, League Two, and going back to the drawing board as a manager. That might sound a bit hard, but that's how I feel. And going on to the other side of that, Arsenal had a really good performance last night. They had one moment where they were defensively, obviously sloppy, when they gave Chelsea the one goal, but for the most part they were pretty solid, and they looked back to the old sound, but obviously if they're gonna win the league, I believe they have to go unbeaten from now until the end of the season. But I don't think they're going to, because they have to go to St James's Park, and that that's a tough place to go at any time, but especially now when Newcastle are in the top four and flying. So I really don't think Arsenal are going to get anything out of St James's Park in particular. And let's be honest, Arsenal are always susceptible to drop points. And when you look at Man City, I can't see them dropping. I can't see them dropping any more points from now to the end of the season. But saying that, I think the Madrid game in the Champions League could 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 have could have a big effect on them. So, So we're going to have to wait and see. But I personally think Man City win the league and the Champions League. I believe over the two legs they can beat Madrid. If it was a one-off game, I would say Madrid have a good chance. But over the two legs, I think City can definitely beat Madrid. But you never know with Madrid, do ya? At the time I'm recording this tonight, Man City are playing West Ham, and if West Ham defended how they defended at the weekend, I could see City getting 5. And let's be honest, the only reason that game was close for West Ham at the weekend is because West Ham now had to score from corners and free kicks left. If they didn't have the set pieces that they do, West Ham would not have got back into that game, would not have even come close to Palace in that game. But I don't think they have that luck against Man City. But moving on to Man United, would be like Man United or not, you have to say they've had a great season when you think about where they were at the very first at like the first 2 games of the season. People questioning Eric Ten Hag, and people were questioning like was it Malacia? No, it wasn't. Who's the centre back? Obviously he's injured now, so speedy recovery team. But was it Malacia that they said where they said he's basically too short to be a Premier League centre back? Obviously they didn't word it like that. They worded it more friendly than that. But that's basically what they said. And obviously they've been proven wrong, because before he got injured, he was one of Man United best centre backs. And as I said, even if Man United have lost one game this season, the next game they've come back and won the game, or they've at least drawn the game. So what I'm trying to say is that this season they've had a really good back ability, if you know what I mean. Because normally when a team has a bad game, and I mean like a really bad game, like Man United did against Man City, normally they go on a really bad run of form. But not Man United this season. Every time they've had a really bad result, they've come back even stronger the next game, and that shows really good mentality, not only by the squad of players but also by the manager. So fair play to Eric Ten Hag. And as I say, at the start of the season, you had people questioning the manager and some of the players. As I said, I like how none of them people have come out and said I was wrong. But of course, they're not going to do that, are they? Because they're never going to admit when they're wrong. So there you go. Leeds enjoy Sam Allardyce. I guarantee you're still gonna get relegated, and you would still have to sit through some diabolical football. So there you go. I mean, I feel sorry for the Leeds fans, but as a club, I don't really have much sympathy for them. They they made some terrible appointments as their managers over the last year or t- over the last year or t- over the last year or so. Obviously, since Bielsa left, every manager they've had since Bielsa left has been terrible. So I feel sorry for the fans, not for the club. Speaking of the fans, I was not surprised when the lead players completely ignored that kid. I actually tweeted, "I'm really not surprised. I'm really not," because a lot of footballers, they're in their own world, and I got and obviously I don't know these people, but I imagine some of them are nice people. But you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when you're a big athlete and and you're a Premier League footballer, sometimes you can get wrapped up. You can get wrapped up in the atmosphere of being a Premier League footballer. And, and, and I understand that, and I understand if the fans are giving you abuse and they like swearing at you and like just be just just, just like being vulgar to you. I understand you just putting your 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 I understand you you just putting your your headphones on and keeping your head down. But most of the time, the fans just want. Most of the time, the fans just want to know that that you care the way they care. But obviously, a lot of them don't. But going back to this situation, obviously it would not have hurt the player to at least smile at the fans or put their thumb up or like just say hello to the kid at least. Like, like, let's be honest, a lot of them fans are probably the fans that support you home and away. And let's be honest, you've had a terrible season, so the least you can do is at least smile. I mean, as I said, I was not surprised. I was not surprised. Like obviously we had the Arsenal players the other day, and even if for the rest of the day they they were lovely to that to that to that to that kid in that case for that moment, it made all it made all of them players seem like arseholes, and I know for a fact some of them are nice guys. As I said, I was not surprised that nobody interacted with that kid from the Leeds side. I was absolutely not surprised, and I I heard that kid when on Good Morning Britain, I think it was, or this morning. I didn't watch it, but there you go. So so do you, do you like what do you think like that? Do you think the players are just arrogant arsehole, or is it just a case of they they they, they probably think they're gonna get a load of abuse or a load of or a lot of stuff said to them, so they just plug it out like in their mind, or do you think they're just a case of we don't care, we get paid and that's it? Because I think it's a bit of everything, to be honest. At the end of the day, I just feel sorry for that little kid, because that little kid hasn't done anything wrong. But but as I always say, don't look up, don't look up to anybody in this game, because people will eventually show you who they really are. And if you idolise footballers, unfortunately, a lot of them are going to let you down because a lot of them, are, a lot of them probably are in their own world, and they don't really appreciate how important the fans are. I don't know what the right thing to say is, but there you go. But moving on. So as I said, Man City are really kicking into gear. They got a decent win against Fulham, but and obviously they had to come from behind. What a great goal for their second. Obviously Haaland scored a penalty again. Honestly, if he stayed for like 2 or 3 seasons, he could beat Alan Shearer's record if he stopped. Well, if he stopped for another 2 or 3 years, he could definitely do it. And Man City, I find Man City have finally figured out how to play with Haaland, because at the start of the season it felt like Haaland was holding them back a little bit in terms of the way that they played. Obviously, he was still scoring goals, but I mean in terms of the way that they played. But now it seems like they've figured out how to play with Haaland, and they seem to be playing a lot better. So fair play to Pep. I know a lot of people like. I know a lot of people like to give Pep stick because obviously for the money thing and everything like that. But as a manager, you can tell ast- he's tactically astute. Yeah, so fair play to him. And and moving on to Newcastle. Newcastle are doing tremendously well. They beat Southampton on the weekend 3-1, and even before that they beat Everton 4-1. So they're definitely doing what they need to do. And if they do go when they do go into the Champions League next season, I hope they do well. But to be honest, I think they might struggle in the Champions League, and that would definitely affect their league form. So it could be a case of in the Champions League once in the Champions League next season, but also fighting relegation. I I would not be surprised if that was the case. Speaking of relegation, I think the 3 teams that will go down will be Southampton, Everton, and Leeds. They're going to be my predictions going down. I'm 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 pretty confident on Southampton and Everton, but it could, obviously I would not be surprised if Leeds pull themselves out of it. Because big set, South Allardyce, you're gonna get like a draw or something, and like Man City or something, and that will be enough to keep them in the league. I would not be surprised if Sam Allardyce keeps them up, but I don't think he will. But I would not be surprised if he did. I'm surprised Sam Allardyce has not got more jobs, has not got more jobs opportunities, because whether we like Sam Allardyce or not, he's a good manager. Like he will do a job for you. Especially if you're in the bottom of the league, he will definitely do a job for you. So, so So I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it a day here. I I I would I would do it. I would do another one of these in about a week or so. So that so stay tuned for that, and I will speak to you later. Have a good day. See you soon. And I've just realised I spent half of the time looking up there. I apologise. And thank you for the support. And I will be back later on today with a new video. So I will speak to you then. Have a good day. Bye bye. Thank you for the support.